I have a feeling that you've done some opposition research going into this interview.
No, of course not.
I don't believe that for a second.
You're confident enough?
What's opposition research have to do
You know
with anything?
stuff about mostly him, I would imagine.
I do, yes.
Yeah. So you
Caleb told me a lot.
Listen.
Okay.
All right. Let's just cut through it.
put our cards on the table.
If you had to go to jail or prison, which one would you pick?
What's the difference?
Well, jail's probably a little
Do you
lighter
like
than
his
prison.
county jail? Yeah.
I've said, listen.
Maybe you
a lot
like
of
the
people,
Manhattan Correctional Facility with like a real jacked up former cop as your cellmate for a night?
Yeah.
From what I've read, I think if anybody in this room, and I don't know some of the other people in here, and Tom has a sketchy past, but I think you would probably be most likely to go to jail between all of us in here.
Really?
Yeah.
I have committed some crimes. That's fine. But I also admit to the crimes I commit, where you don't, and you kind of skirt around it. But listen, I'm actually very realistic about you as a player. I've always said you're a very good quarterback, even league MVP 4 times, right? I do think that you should be in jail or prison, and I'm fair to say you get to pick. I think jail's better than prison, so you can have that, and I will meet you halfway.
No.
Okay. I just got one follow-up.
Are you really sensitive about what I said last year after I scored that touchdown?
Okay, let's get into it. So you said
Is that
I own you.
Yeah.
I fucking own you to the city of Chicago. The city of Chicago has $38.7 billion of debt. So are you going to pay that?
That's a good one.
I mean,
No, I'm not
if
gonna
you
pay
own
that.
us.
No, I don't think I was saying that about the entire city. Now, maybe Soldier Field, every fan who was flipping me off, that negativity that was kind of coming my way.
There was a pretty substantial FCC fine that came Fox's way. Do you own that
What was
fine? You can't just say fuck on TV.
I don't think
It's supposed to be a 10-second delay, so I think that's out of my hands.
Yeah, well, I actually own you because I'm a Packers owner.
Fact.
Yeah.
So I own you, you own him.
You own a piece of paper that has
it's legit.
actual value.
It's legit. I actually stole it from our goldfish. So our goldfish owned you. Then he died. Then I inherited the share. Now I own you. You own Big Cat. So I guess
Dan?
I
Yeah.
inherit that debt.
Okay.
Do you feel bad for what you've done to my friend Big Cat?
No, I don't.
At all.
Not at all.
Not at all. Because, I don't know if you can
I think
tell
he's
this.
conflicted. He's conflicted. It's kind of like Darth Vader and Luke Skywalker. Remember? He's like, I can feel the conflict within you. And he says this fake statement like, oh, there's no conflict. I move on. Inside, he went to Wisconsin. Right?
Yeah. I hate you, though. I hate the
He's
Packers.
seen some of my all-time best moments on the field, not only at Soldier Field, but also at Ford Field.
Mm-hmm.
So I was a Lions fan for 24 hours.
But deep down.
I went to go help support the Lions fans to try to beat the Packers, and then you threw the Hail Mary right in my face, directly in my face. Like I said, you've tortured me. They had me on the way over here. They were like, what's the worst moment, Aaron Rodgers versus the Bears? And I just started listing like a laundry list, and it goes on forever. Do you get extra, do you actually relish in the fact that you beat the Bears the way you do every single year?
Yes.
Fuck. I knew the answer to that.
Because it's a great sports town. If we're beating up on a town that doesn't have great sports history, it's like just another win. But Chicago is Chicago. You get 100 years of Bears football, almost, right? You have the Chicago Bulls. I grew up a Bulls fan. Back on my old TV, we had like 7 dials, and you had to hit it just right with the antenna doing. We could get WGN, so we could watch, Cubs baseball and Harry Carey.
Yeah.
That was like iconic, and Bulls basketball.
So we're like
So I
meeting
grew up
somewhere in the
watching
middle, yeah.
Chicago sports.
So, all right, what's your favorite memory? I'm just going to do this because everyone's going to want to hear it. What's your favorite memory of beating the Bears? What's your favorite Bears all-time? Because there are a lot. I actually, weirdly, I'll tell you mine first because there's, Randall Cobb was terrible.
Mm-hmm.
The NFC Championship game was terrible. When you faked you had an injury with Khalil Mack that first half and you came back. Weirdly, though, the one that just kills me the most, because actually Hank and Dave, we were in Arizona for some college football thing, and we watched Sunday Night Football. It was a game that you put up, I think you guys were up 42-0 at half, and they just laughed at me for an entire half, and they're like, how do you watch this? That one hurts, I think, weirdly the most. So what's your favorite? Go ahead.
Well, that one hurts because it was 42 whatever at halftime, and I'd thrown 6 touchdowns.
Yeah.
And the record is 7. And Mike was and Mike was going to sit me. And I was like, how about one more possession? He goes, okay, one more. So we got down to the 9-yard line and threw it 3 times, 3 incompletions. So
Bend, don't break.
yeah. So we went up 45-0.
Yeah. All right, so what's your favorite?
Probably 2013.
Okay.
Only because I came back from my collarbone. Randall came back from his knee injury. And then somehow it was for the division. You know, after so many things happened, you know, for us to be able to be in it. And I believe that Detroit was still in it the week before. Then they had a bad loss to somebody. So then it came down to like our game. And, you know, neither team I don't think was great that year.
Mm-hmm.
But we're still playing for a home playoff game. And I start off, I throw a pick to Chris Conti on a rollout. And I'm like, shit, like, is it going to go like this, you know, tonight? And then I threw another pick to Jennings in I think the second or third quarter, and then we had that weird fluky Pep, you know, caused a fumble, and Boykin picks it up, and nobody's doing anything, and he runs in the end zone, and on the last drive we converted 3 fourth downs, you know, 4th and like inches on a dive play, a 4th and 3 on a throw to Jordy, but the last one was pretty amazing.
So what? This is terrible. I actually hate that I'm doing this. This is actually my least favorite thing I've ever done coming here right now. But
you
when
look
you
good,
saw
though.
that,
You look good. I want to tell you.
Thank you.
No, I mean sometimes. No, I mean you know, I know that we've all struggled with our own issues, and I know weight's been kind of up and down for you. But I feel like you look.
Well, you don't
really
watch
good.
anything I do.
No, I just heard.
Oh, okay,
I
okay.
heard,
You heard
yeah,
about the
I
weight.
heard,
All right.
yeah.
You got to hurt me with the Bears stuff. What's the worst loss that you've had? What's the one that stuck the most?
Oh, the NFC Championship against Seattle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a very fun game from my perspective.
If one play goes our way, out of all these, you know, they don't call it offsides. I throw a pick to Sherman. Obviously, the onside kick, fake field goal, 2-point conversion. You know, there's like 8 plays. If one of them goes our way, we get a pick, and the guys, you know, our guys slid down instead of running back inside the 30, and one of those plays goes our way.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we win that. We played New England, who we had beaten earlier that year at home, but we beat them 26-21 that year. But yeah, that one hurts.
That was a fun one.
Always gonna hurt.
I was just like, this is really happening. This is really happening. Holy shit, is this still happening? And it just kept on happening.
Do you have a photographic memory?
It was great. It was great. I remember the bar I was at in Chicago, and I was like, this is
Tell me
actually
more.
happening.
Tell me more about it.
It was so. Did you guys like run? You didn't run offense at the end of the game, right? Was there time left, and you kneeled it, or no?
No.
I know the onside kick. Obviously,
They scored.
Yeah,
And then they went for 2, and he threw up that wild one, and somehow guy caught it and
Yep.
scored it. So we're down 3. Then we went down and got a field goal.
that's right. You kicked a field goal
To
instead
tie
of
it.
yeah, right,
Yeah.
right. And there was moments where it felt like your offense wasn't. You guys were kind of playing not to lose situation towards the end, where it's like, all right,
Oh, the last couple of possessions.
yeah. And that was one of my favorite parts. I was like, what are they doing? Like they've been able to.
Well,
move the
we'd
ball.
got after him in 20 the entire game, and 20 personnel, so 2 backs and 3 receivers, and that was kind of the plan. And then we went got last couple of possessions in 22 personnel, so 2 backs, 2 tight ends, like a jumbo set, which, you know, Seattle's iconic, you know, one of the best defenses of the generation for sure, the last 30 years probably, the Legion of Boom, and people forget how good they were up front as well. And obviously they had KJ and Bobby at backer, you know, they were as stout as can be, but they had a front that was pretty nasty. But we had found some things in 20 personnel that got after him pretty good. In the last couple of possessions, we, you know, didn't do it. But, you know, as well as we played on defense that day, we picked them off 5 times. We had the ball inside the 2 twice and kicked 2 field goals,
Yeah.
which
That
obviously
that was
hurt.
awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was
There were a
great.
lot of things.
That was a great game. And
A
then
lot of
Russell
things.
Wilson passing overtime.
Yeah.
Oh.
But where were you? Where were you?
I was at a bar. I have a friend who's a diehard Packers fan, and as it was happening, I started to slowly move away from him because I thought he was going to legitimately punch me. So by the end, when Russell Wilson threw the touchdown, I was like basically standing in the doorway, like away from where we were sitting the whole day because I was like, he's going to try to fight me. And yeah, it was great. It was great. And then he was just defeated, and it was just beautiful, the whole thing.
Can I ask you a non-condescending way a question?
Yeah.
I'm going to.
That question was
rhetorical. That was a rhetorical question.
That intro question was a little bit condescending.
It was rhetorical. Yeah.
Okay.
Truly, is it hard for you as a Bears fan that some of your greatest moments are cheering against me when the Bears aren't playing?
Okay, good question. Very good question. No, it's actually great because what I've told everyone is I'm very realistic about the Bears. Not a great franchise. Just don't do the right things for the most part. Every year I look forward to the playoffs and the game that you're going to lose. And I've told this story on the air, but like when you guys lost to San Francisco this year, we were watching the game in New Jersey and I drove back to Brooklyn, brag, and I listened to Tauscher, ESPN Wisconsin. For 3 hours I sat in my car. I had arrived home. It's a 20-minute drive. I had arrived home. I sat for 3 hours listening to callers be like, blow up Lambeau, get 12 out of here. We need to build a dome. This team isn't built for the outside. And that was the highlight of my NFL season. And I have no problem saying that because I know I'm a loser. That's the best part. I've come to grips with the fact that I'm a loser. So yes, watching you lose in the playoffs that's my Super Bowl. And I've won a lot of Super Bowls. If you do it that way, more than you. Yeah, I like that spin zone I just did in my head. Yeah,
I love it.
Yeah, I have a dynasty cooking.
Do you actually,
Good answer.